Today is another Royal Enfield day at the Adventure Center, our Husky and Royal Enfield dealer, and we're riding the 650. And man, that is a sharp looking bike. I see the guys talking about the fit and finish on these for the price, and I'm going to tell you, just looking at it at first glance, for any price, this thing's good. So, all right, well, let's go for a ride. Starting it up. Everything powers up. Little light on fuel. Come back here in the run position. Now you've got RPMs and speed. This one's got 10 miles on the clock, and then you've got idiot lights. So I like that. It's simple. It's really simple. This bike doesn't have a lot of electronics on it, so what you're not looking at is like rider modes and sport and off-road and blah 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 blah. Okay, now we can get started. I got the phone down. I'm in the proper position. Got the center stand up. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do on the 2019 Royal Enfield Interceptor. Now right there is a sound that I need to know, because what we can't do, what we don't want to do, is go over 4,000 RPM. So that's going to be that sound there. Man, I'll tell you, this is a really good looking bike. I'm amazed, because everybody's saying in the mirrors are a little bit of a weird position for me, but we're not super worried about that. I like how tight they are. Well, they're doing better than the Classic 500. I'll put it in first gear. They actually adjusted for me. Oh, that is a good sounding bike too. You got to get used to that sound. That's maximum right there. So let's go hit a gas station real quick. Put a little gas in this for Brento. Show you how that looks. It seems like, yeah, red line's at 7,500, and I can't see needing. I can't see needing to get it up that high. So this 650cc, it's got a 270 degree cam. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of technical specs on this, because I don't know them, but I am going to put a link down in the description where you can go and look all that stuff up and see it. This is really going to be my impression of the bike video. And the first thing I am impressed with is the quality of the whole thing. There is nothing slapdash about this. This looks tight. Everything on it looks really good. This could be a Japanese bike, just looking at it. I would put it up there in quality, close to the Triumph stuff that I've looked at. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So the brakes, I thought the I thought the single disc brake would be kind of weird, but it's really good. That is awesome. Using both brakes to stop. There, we're stopped. And I honestly wasn't even riding the thing that hard. I'm not asking a lot of this thing right now. I'm not ranking on it, cranking on it, because it's still in the break-in period, and I'm not gonna run the thing down real hard. Whoops. God, it's just got gobs of torque. Absolute gobs of torque. Speed bump. And that thing bounced me up, and honestly, I just found, yeah, that's my comfortable seating position. I like that. I like that. It's got torque across the RPM range, and I'm not gonna run it up past 4 to really get a feel for that, but that was something he specifically asked me, don't do that. I mean, I'm not going to do that. He said, maybe for a minute. I'm like, no, let's not wreck the bike. This thing's gorgeous, though. It's just, I'll tell you another thing on this for handling is, I don't know if you've heard oh yeah, look at that turn. Low speed turning, there's a spot where you get to, and when the speed comes down and the thing just falls into a turn, and you almost have to hold it out of that. Not quite though. It's balanced really well. One of the first things you notice looking at it is the geometry of the forks. The thing is in. Oh man, this just feels good. I like this. This is the Cafe Racer one, the GT, the Continental G, or the GT. Yeah, it's the Continental GT 650. This one is the Interceptor. The GT leans you forward more, and the handlebars are like the clip-on type. And honestly, this is as far forward as I want to lean. Let's go find a gas station. Put a little fuel in this for Brento. He's been really good letting me check these bikes out and stuff. So a couple things I want to say while we're out riding around. I don't have a time constraint. I'm not going to put a ton of miles on this thing, but I am going to put a few. I kind of want to ride it in some traffic and see how it deals. It feels really good for like lane splitting type behavior, traffic filtering. But I had a couple things I want to say while we go find a gas station. I'll put a couple gallons in here. I'll put a gallon. This thing's supposed to get 70 miles to the gallon. Oh man. I'm gonna do something illegal here because this is a double yellow. We shouldn't be doing that, but this blows me away. This absolutely blows me away, and I know this has nothing to do with motorcycles, but Mind Body Exercise Studio, we used to do karate classes in there. My cousin was doing karate classes with his buddies, and I went and horned in on it and did karate classes with them, and we all had a good time doing that. And, I missed that. The karate class was awesome. All right, let's flip back around. Where do I want to go for gas? Let's go to the Chevron station real quick, and then we'll go up the bluffs. I love the sound of this. It's got kind of that tweedy little chirp. It's just so smooth. There's kind of a, because of the way the cam is, that's one of the things about the Harleys. The way the cam is angled. That's where you get that loping kind of a blah, 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 blah sound to a Harley. And I'm not saying this sounds like a Harley, because it doesn't, obviously, even if you had louder pipes on it. But what it does, it's got a distinct sound to it that is its own. It is completely its own sound. And that 270-degree crank, it just, the way it delivers the torque, it feels great. And Brento said it. He said it's like an electric motor. And as somebody who has owned electric vehicles, I can tell you this feels kind of like an electric vehicle. It's got a smooth and flat torque curve across the RPMs that I'm playing with, because we don't have the whole thing. Whew. But yeah, while we go get gas, well, we're almost there. We'll get some gas, and then then I'll talk about the thing I wanted to say real quick. Okay, we'll turn that off. So this flops up. Let's check this out. This thing flops up. Put the key in. Ooh, and it comes off. And I think you have to have it on there to get the key out of it. So, ooh, let me get this mask up, because good Lord, it's stuffy. It's a humid day, guys. And I'm not going to talk for a minute, because I'm going to delete this part out. Accepts debit only. You know what? I have absolutely no use for AM PM. Let's go to a Chevron station. I don't know why I came here. It's just because it's here. Grandma used to use these guys, and what a joke. Accepts debit only. I don't even have my debit card with me. Who the hell doesn't take credit? $3.83 a gallon. This is junk gasoline anyway. Alright, let's do this. Whoop. Look at that. That's cute. I love that. The gauge is like, once you get used to where your butt goes on the seat, the seating position is good. Alright, let's turn it on. Okay. That guy's getting gas too. Accepts debit only. Oh, what a bunch of junk. That back brake is good. It's properly good. If you want to call this lane splitting, we will. I'm going to call it I go where I want. So the blinkers are on. The brakes on this, you'd think, because it's a single disc brake, you'd think it'd be a little bit light duty, but it feels good. It takes up real short on the stop. It just does great. Let's go. Oh yeah. All right, so now we're gonna go find some gas at a gas station that isn't stupid. And I will talk to you about the thing I wanted to say real quick. And it's got not to do just with this bike. It's got to do with the brand and my view of it. And here we go. Quite a while back, I made a video about the Royal Enfield brand coming to America. And I thought that was really good. And I kind of saw our country economically on a very decidedly downhill bend. I didn't see things recovering because, and it's not that we can't do it, we are an industrious people, it's because the way the politicians are doing us, or have been doing us over. And I'll tell you, those foot pegs are really wide out there to accommodate that frame. Oh, I'm still got my turn signal on. I'm so used to the self-canceling turn signals that These don't have that. So I thought, you know, having a brand like Royal Enfield will be great. And for a couple of reasons. Affordable transportation is really important when your economy is in the toilet. And this is just about as affordable as it can get. This bike is, and at the time I was talking more along the lines of the Classic 500 and the Bullet. The bikes get 70 plus miles to the gallon. They're inexpensive. They're like between $5,000 and $6,000. This one's between 6 and 7, I think. We'll look at the price, or you just saw it roll up on the screen, didn't you? In the editing. So this bike is very affordable for what you're getting. This is competent. This thing, oh man, look, it's laying on. We're doing 55 right now, and it's not even struggling for that. A 6-speed transmission. I just corrected myself in text if I got that wrong. I'm pretty sure this is 6-speed. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, we'll run through it. Very affordable, that's the point. Very affordable. And when your economy's in the toilet, affordable transportation is really important, especially for all the younger people that are coming up. But I'm looking at my kids and thinking, you know, that's going to be really important. And I talked about that in that video. And the thing is in 2016, we didn't get the politician I thought we were going to get. We got somebody who doesn't suck. Oh man, you can just keep that right in there. That whole shift range just happened between 3,500 and 4,000 RPM. That's, oh man. Anyway, we didn't get the politician in there that I thought was going to continue destroying our country. We got the guy we got. And brash and foul-mouthed as he may be at times, he is doing a good job on the foreign policy frontier. He is doing a fantastic job in that regard in relation to and on the economic 2,500, 3,500, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000. We're doing 50. This thing is sweet, guys. Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job with the economy. He's rolled back taxes. We have money to spend again. Jobs are popping up everywhere. I get notifications like crazy on Glassdoor. The whole country is booming except for California, where the Democrats are still in charge. And it's not necessarily Democrats versus Republicans, because I think both parties are kind of in on the same BS. It's the socialists, the communists, that have been bought out by foreign powers. But I don't think this guy has been. I was worried about it for a while, but I didn't really come here to talk about Trump. Oh, I didn't button my thing. Now, there's my helmet. So we're at 2,000 RPM, and it's got plenty of torque. It's got plenty of torque in that low range. So yeah, I didn't come here to talk about Trump. Sorry to get off on a side there, but the thing is the economy's booming. So Royal Enfield coming into America in a booming economy, it's not going to play the role that I kind of envisioned happening as the affordable transportation that would be necessary. But it's playing a different role. Oh man, I tell you, once you get, I'm going to pull over here and make a point on the bike. When you're turning, you're good. There's a point where it breaks over and it really wants to go to lock. And you're not fighting with it hard, but you are having to kind of keep it in line. So yeah, it's not playing the role I kind of saw it playing as far as the brand and giving us affordable transportation that's much needed. It's not, we're not in a desperate strait anymore. At least we won't be for a while, as long as he keeps doing the thing he's doing. But the brand is outstanding because they have gone through and they have reworked their factories. They have learned a great deal about quality control. I've read the articles on the guys from Royal Enfield going and learning all about quality control measures and modern production and manufacturing of goods, and they're really stepping it up. They're really stepping it up. And it's just awesome to see this level of quality coming out of India. And that's going to take me to something else. We're not in that relationship where we're hurting dire straits and all that stuff. But we are fighting with China in this trade war thing, and I don't know how that's going to go. But I'll tell you what I would like to see. And then I'm going to get off this and start talking about the bike a little bit more again. I would really like to see us drastically lower the amount of trade that we're doing with China. And I do mean drastically. I mean by like a lot. And I would like to see us doing that trade with India. For a few reasons. One is Chinese are communists, and I don't like communism. I despise it. I hate it. It's horrible. It's evil, and I don't think we should be doing business with them. I would really like to see us it just ran out of gas. It just ran out of gas. Shit. I'm gonna have to go around here and keep it pointed downhill. Hopefully I don't get a ticket here. Yeah, okay. So I edited that part out. What happened is it ran out of gas, just like I thought it might. And I got to going and I went to jump on it and I stepped on the brake on accident, and it threw my butt right over the top of the bike and into the curb, and I got a couple of little dings on me, and worse than that, because that crap all heals, is I got a few little dings on the bike. So Brento is going to kick my butt. This is the worst of it. So something that you should understand, if you've got one of these, that's not cool. That's scratched. Good God, John. That's not going to buff out either. I'm not seeing anything else on here. There's a little bit of a nick on the weld there. I don't think that's noticeable. So something you should know if you're getting one of these is, God, I hate to do this to my gloves, but I really don't want to scar this up either. Yeah, what you call it, the Velcro on these is shot anyways, or just about there. So what we will do, I cannot get this back down there without, oh man, I don't think I can get that. That's all she's got, and I don't have anything with me that can even come close to. Try not to tear the thing up. No, that's all we've got, I think. Let's see if this does it. Tell you what, cheap tools are the best tools when it's all you've got. Well, I'll tell you what, that ain't right. But it's damn sight better than it was a minute ago. Yeah, Brento is going to be not so happy with me. Alright, that gets that back out away from that. So if you're going to do long trips with this, out of town or anything, you might want to look at the idea of having an extra couple of control levers in your pack, on the bike, whatever. We got to open this back up. I don't even know if this thing's going to start right now. I still might have to call him to come bring the truck and get me. Oh, that rubber thing is slipping around on there. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that alone. That's good enough to get me back. And they can do a better job than that with the right tools. I don't want to tear that thing up anymore than I did. Let's turn this off. So yeah, it ran out of gas. Now we gotta see if the thing starts. Oh man. Yeah, it's time for new gloves anyway. I didn't want to chew the finish up on that thing because you can straighten it out and it doesn't need to be. Okay, with the fuel injected system, you turn it on, you let the pump go, you turn it back off. This works on your cars too, guys. Turn it back on. I don't know if you can hear that pump. You let it pump. Wow, that's 3/4 of a tank. One more time. Now we're going to start it. So yeah, I'll be honest, that it's warm today, guys. It's not so much that it's warm, because it's not super warm. It's humid. Look at here. Let's see, we're going this way. It's 73 degrees, which isn't bad. We're looking for a high 81, but the humidity, oh my God, the humidity is just off the chart right now. So anyway, I'll let that thing run for a second. And it's got good gas in it. It's Arco junk, but Arco would have been better for it. Arco would have been better for it because I wouldn't have dumped it. I feel like an ass now. Complete and total clown. I like the seat. The seat is thin. And you can kind of feel what's underneath it. I would repad that. I would see if Seat Concepts makes a seat for that. I would repad it. And I'm going to say the suspension is kind of stiff. And that's not a bad thing for this kind of bike. Oh man, that's way up there now. Oh. Well, there you go. It's got the center, or not the center stand, but the side stand. It won't run. So this is your on-off emergency. This is your start. Your turn signals. I don't know if you can see the turn signal down there. And then cancel, right? High beams, low beams, flash to pass, and the horn. You heard the horn earlier. All right, let's go. Oh God, that's the nice thing about humidity. That is the nice thing about humidity, guys. Once you get rolling, it's nice and cool. Ooh. Brento is going to be so he'll be cool about it, but I feel like a complete and total ass with that. Can't believe I did that. Alright, so we could totally get in front of everybody, but I'm not going to run this thing hard. I'm going to go downtown for a little bit. I'm going to click back onto what we were talking about, because I'm going to delete a lot of that. So I would really like to see us doing less trade with China and doing more trade with India. And this company is one of the reasons that that's come to mind for me. Is I really like this company. I like what they're doing. I like the products they're making. especially like this product. This thing's great. And can Royal Enfield make it in America? I should have counted those. I think we're in 6th now. There's no, I'm not seeing any gear indicator, but that's top gear right there. So, oh, I did it again. I'd love to see a throttle lock on this thing. I gotta get my helmet clicked on here. There we go. I'll tell you what, right there in top gear, even though we got down to 40, it started to pull. That was kind of cool. Let's get it to 4. Up one more, 35. I'm doing 55 miles an hour. And this is comfortable. So, yeah, in that other video, I talked about how I thought this brand was going to be able to make it big in America because the economy was going to be really crap, and this is affordable transportation. And I am happy to say our economy isn't crap. This is still really affordable transportation, and if you're just looking for a fun bike, and this is where I'm going to get over to the quality bit of it, as opposed to the necessity bit of it. These are fun bikes. I really like the little 500. I love that bike. I love the look of it. It reminds me of my first bike. The two have not a thing in common. But they're both single cylinders, and that's about it. And it's too small for me. And that's really what they've got in common. I love that bike for that. It reminds me of that first bike. It reminds me of my first motorcycling experience. This one has more power, but it's not dangerous more power. This reminds me of my second motorcycle. My second motorcycle was a Yamaha Seika 750. 100 cc's more than this one, and it was a 4-cylinder, and it was carbureted. But this thing with the fuel injection, and this bike's lighter than that bike was by a lot. And I don't really know what the horsepower rating was on that bike, but this rides like that. The suspension's a little bit tighter and stiffer than what I'm used to. I feel the road more with this. I'm feeling the road more with this. For me, and again, I'm 6'4". I'm 263 pounds right now. For me, this bike, the seat is a little too low. My knees are down. Or my knees are up, excuse me. My feet are back. It's like mid-controls. But honestly, everybody's like, well, this is like a neutral riding position. It's not for me. This is kind of what... This kind of reminds me of the Continental GT, the little 500 one, or 600, or whatever the first one was with the single cylinder. This reminds me of that, but it's not uncomfortable like that. I didn't like that. The geometry of that bike was weird. That was the first time I sat on a bike that sat this way. I really like the way this sits, to be honest. For an around town commuter, it's great. And now that I'm doing 60 miles an hour on the freeway, we're just under 4,000 RPM. This, I'll tell you what, this reminds me of the Vitpoline, the Husky Vitpoline, and that's a cool bike. I sat on the little one, the Svartpoline, or whatever they call it, and I didn't ride it, but this reminds me of that, and it feels good. I'm not crying about this at all. It might be the excess alcohol I drank last night, or the ibuprofen I took this morning to counter that. But this feels good. I'm leaning just enough forward. I'm leaning just enough forward that that wind coming down the freeway. Oops, we didn't want to do that. I'm in the second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. Yep, 6 gears. Let's do this. I do want to ride around downtown a little bit before I take it back. And this is, yeah, man, that suspension is kind of harsh. Excuse me. My throat's all chapped from all that heavy breathing when I was pushing it. That is not the bike, guys. That is totally my fault. I ran it out of gas, and I knew that was going to be an issue, so I screwed that up. And if I have to buy some parts, I don't think Brent would do that, but if I have to buy some parts to make up for it, I will. Let's hope not, because money is a little tight this month. Miss Maddie the dog had to go to the vet, and that cost a sharp $500. Quite a bit of money for me. Anyway, yeah, the seating position on this, let's go get in front of some windows. No U-turn here. I want to show you what this looks like. But I'm leaned forward, but I don't have a lot of weight on my wrists from leaning forward. Damn it, I should have got out in there. I couldn't see around him, and I'm not paying attention, which is a bad thing to be doing when you're on a motorcycle. Yeah, I don't feel a lot of weight on my wrist, just a little bit, and then coming down the freeway, it's like the wind's pushing your chest up because there's no windscreen, and I honest to God, I would never put a windscreen on this for that reason. It took the little bit of weight that has been on my wrists riding this, it took it off. And this is something I love. This low speed, I'm not doing 5 miles an hour, and it's controllable. I couldn't tell what that guy was going to do. So let's go down here and look at these windows. See if we can see ourselves. Ah, there's a line in the middle of it. That's just great. That's artistic and stupid. Right here. So that's the sitting position for me. I'm leaned a little bit forward. I don't have a lot of weight on my wrists, and the wind on the freeway just picked me up and put me right off of that. So this is comfortable. If the seat were just a touch higher, I think it would be, it's a balance between the handlebars being too low and your feet being too high. So let's shift off and talk about something here. What would you get this bike for? The other one, I had some very definite reasons to get that bike, and I'm gonna carry one of those reasons over to this one as a first-time bike. The clutch on this thing is so smooth. Let's find neutral here. It's so smooth. Look, it's so smooth all the way through. It's easy to actuate. There's almost no weight on that clutch. The brakes are fantastic. They don't they aren't grabby, and you just barely touch them and you can see it stopping. And the back brake's just as good. It's a smaller disc, but it's just as good, and it feels good. On the brakes, you can lay in them and get to a stop if you need to. This has ABS. I'm not going to put that to the test because I don't like doing that, but the Bosch ABS on this is supposed to be really good. It's not like the best of the best of the best of the best. You know, you're not going to go do MotoGP, but that's not what this bike's for anyways. But as a commuter for around town, this is great. Could you take it on a road trip? I think you could. This engine isn't struggling. You've seen I haven't taken it over 4,000 on purpose, and one way. This thing's just fantastic, and for flicking around traffic and stuff, this is great. Went between the cars there a little bit. I'm gonna go. Low speed in the parking lot. It's very maneuverable. It's easy to handle. They say flickable. That's that short rake on the front forks that gives you that. It makes it super controllable. The trade-off there is going to be on a long distance drive. Oh, I've still got my turn signals on. on a long distance drive, this is not going to be super comfortable. Now it is nice because the wind holds you up, but you're not going to be able to and see, I don't know, once it's tracked straight, it's like it wants to track straight, and I don't see a mechanism there making that happen. Yeah, I was in second. So it took off in second just now. That's how easy this bike is to ride, guys. It's kind of stupid proof. That was a dumb thing for me to do right now. It leans in great. It just leans in great. But it did whenever we were going. I let go of the handlebars. You saw that there, and the thing, I very tentatively let go of the handlebars. The thing tracks straight. So I don't know how much on a long trip you'd be fighting with that, but I'll be honest, my first love with the Royal Enfields is that Bullet 500, but for an around town commuter in a big city, this would be fantastic. A big city like Los Angeles or New York. I think you would love this bike if you were in those places. It's stupid easy to ride. I'll tell you what this is reminding me of, and I didn't ride it either, but I sat on it. The Triumph, and that bike's cool looking. Oh God, that bike is cool looking. This reminds me of that Triumph Cafe Racer. It feels like that, only just not as far forward leaning, and that's perfect for me. I love this. I don't know if this is necessary to hold the handlebars together, but it doesn't look bad. Everything about this, there isn't a thing on here that I'm looking at that, oh, fit and finish, you know. Well, for the price they say, they keep saying that, and I'll say, you know, they could charge more for a bike like this. They really could, and they're not doing it. So, can Royal Enfield make it in America? I'm so glad that they are. I really want that classic 500. Oh, and here's a shout out. I got a message on that video. That's kind of a neat thing. We're at 100 subscribers now. You guys are following. That's cool. Thanks for tagging along for the ride. 100 subscribers. That's a big deal to me. Because I'm not trying to build a subscriber base, or, you know, but that one video is over 22,000 views. Thank you guys for that. That's really cool. But I got a comment on there from a local guy, substitute teacher, and he said he's looking at that blue one, and Brento told me today, yeah, the guy's working on buying that bike. So, little brother, your name down here in the doobly-doo there, good luck on that, and once you get it, message me again. We'll go for a ride. I got to get the BMW up and running. Last week I goofed off, and the weekend before I had stuff come up. I couldn't deal with it, but this weekend I'm hoping to do it. So yeah, it's a bit of a stiff ride, which is great for an around town commuter. It's got more than enough power. If that low horsepower number is worrisome to you, worry not. This got enough to go and then some. You just saw it take off in second. The way they're gearing these, they've got way more torque. Oh, your big North Star just beat my little bike up. Go back and watch a video, Sitting Rant, and you'll understand why you're an idiot for thinking you won that guy. Anyway, yeah, if you get that bike, let me know. We'll go for a ride. That'd be so cool. I just absolutely love this thing. I have not yet seen... How's it going? I'm not a fan of the 500, the Bullet 500. I don't like the look of it, but it's the same bike as the classic 500. It's just got a more comfortable seat. I don't like the look of it, but it's a great bike. I love the classic. I love this. I don't really care for the clip-ons for the other version of this bike. Not a huge fan of that. That's leaning more forward position kind of thing. I'm not huge on that. how easy that is to do. I love this. The suspension's a little on the stiff side, but for an around town bike, you want it to be. It leans in fantastically. You have to control the handlebars. You have to control. Oh, and it cuts in good. Look at that. That's just awesome. It feels good going around there too. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but apparently neither do they. Yeah, we're doing 30 around here. Look at this. Oh geez, that's fantastic. When you're going over a bumpy spot, just take your butt off the seat just a little bit, and it lightens it up a lot. You center your weight, you lower it. right here. My butt's still touching the seat, but oh, that just leans in great. Oh, what a good bike. I love the Classic 500 for the nostalgia, the look of it, the low horsepower. I don't want a more powerful bike. I've got more powerful bikes. This has all of that for a different era. Again, personally, it reminds me of the 750. I rode that bike all over Southern California, the Southwest United States. I rode it all the way back to Tulsa in 1999 to see my mom and my sister. This reminds me of that. The two are nothing alike. No, they're not nothing alike. They're just very dissimilar bikes, but that's where it puts me. And this is great for the cafe style bikes of the 60s. This is great for that. It's just a neat little nostalgia machine. It's got all of that old time kind of cool from 100 years ago. Not 100 years ago, you get what I'm saying though, from way back when, before our time type of thing. And it's got all the modern accoutrement. It's got the ABS, which makes it safer. It's got a good suspension. If I didn't weigh 260 pounds, don't lie, 230 my butt. Yeah, my butt weighs 230. It's great. It's all the modern materials. I'm not going to hit that patch of sand right there, that's for sure. It's got all the modern stuff. It looks old and it's cool, and it's going to give you more reliability, I think, than I don't think it's going to give you more or less than the Triumphs will. I think it'll be on par with that, just by the look and the feel of it, and what people are saying about the modern 500s with the unit construction engine. Just from what's going on with those, I think this is going to be something similar to that. It's going to be really good quality, really good reliability. They're very affordable. This is not just a good beginner bike. This is a good beginner bike. It is also a fantastic bike to just keep rocking with. Once you get past the beginner stage and you go, oh, I feel like I want a little bit more. I kind of think you're not going to need a little bit more. This bike is just going to get it. And 40-something horsepower on a 400-pound machine, and I don't think it's quite that much for weight. Let me put that down there too. And then on top of it, 70 miles per gallon, and it's just a great bike. This feels good. I really like this. I don't want to get off of it right now. I'm absolutely loving this thing. So there you go. If you are thinking about something like this, I really highly recommend it. That is freaking awesome. I really enjoyed this just now. It's not a long trip bike. It's probably capable of doing some shorter trips, but for an around town commuter, for just a fun bike on the weekends, a bar hopper if you like the cafe racer thing, that kind of thing, this bike is really going to do it for you. It's just a great looking bike. It's a good feeling bike. It's super easy to ride. If you haven't ridden a motorcycle, I think you would not be hurting yourself starting out on this bike. I really do. And I really recommend this for just about anybody. What an awesome bike. So smooth. Smooth power delivery, smooth running. It feels good. I'd beef that seat up a little bit. Honest to God, I would leave that exhaust alone. It is big. That exhaust is big. But that bike, oh, it just looks so cool. So there you go, guys. Bit of a review, my impression of the bike. I'm gonna go in and tell Brento what stupid idiot shit I did, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh my God, this thing is fantastic. Now I found that neutral. Come on, guy.